5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got our playing game. First game. Love Guru versus Zohan. Mike Myers has nothing on Adam Sandler, so we cross Love Guru out, goes to Zohan. Now, we've got our 4 regions. We got the Aspen region with #1 seed Dumb and Dumber. Berlin region, which features Euro Trip. We got the Ithaca
region, #1 seed, #1 overall seed of Road Trip. Takes place in Ithaca. We got Vancouver region, #1 seed Saving Silverman, which is actually filmed in Vancouver. Point in that region.
We're gonna start over here. We'll start with the Ithaca region. We've got Road Trip taking on when Freddy got fingered. Cartoonist who doesn't make a career versus Road Trip. I don't see a competition here. Road Trip moves on. Next matchup, Step Brothers versus Van Wilder. 2 brothers fighting because they can't get along when they're both 40 years old living in their parents' house. Van Wilder, 16 years in college I think it was. 7, whatever.
Same, pretty much the same era.
I would have to say Step Brothers on this one. I don't know about you.
Hands down.
Hands down. When you're all sweaty watching cops and teabagging drum sets, you're gonna move on. We got the next matchup here that Derek's gonna describe.
Yeah, Grandma's Boy, a pot-smoking, lazy wannabe bum, working as a video game tester up against my best friend's girl, which Eric will describe to you.
We got Dane Cook going after Jason Biggs' ex-girlfriend versus a pothead who tests video games. What do you think? I'm saying Grandma's Boy in this
boy, hands down.
Next one, New Guy versus Role Models. Very tough. Very, very tough matchup in the
you got the New Guy, can't fit in with the crowd. Tries to do something, a little change up, shake a little, goes to jail.
They're both similar here. We got New Guy, can't fit in the crowd, Role Models. They're big brothers here. They're messing with the people that are the new guys here. But they both have makeovers and they both deliver good performances. I'm gonna have to go Role Models in this one just because it is a tad bit better than New Guy and a little more memorable than New Guy because everybody forgets about New Guy.
Dark horse here, New Guy's got the better, higher ranking, but I see an upset here, Role Models, moving on to the second round.
Boom. Next matchup, Something About Mary versus Rolling Kansas. Something About Mary features the legendary Brett Favre and Cameron Diaz. Great couple there. Rolling Kansas. 5 people get in a car and drive to Kansas to find a legendary pot field where they harvest this pot and take it back, where they sell it for lots of money. I gotta stick with my guns and go with Brett Favre here and saving Something About Mary. You agree?
Mary moves on.
Old School versus Black Sheep. We got Tommy Boy. We got the Tommy Boy actor who you see later, Chris Farley, going against Will Ferrell and a college dropout who goes back to college and drinks heavily because once it tastes his lips, it's all over.
Go ahead with Black Sheep. No, describe Black Sheep.
Okay. Go ahead and describe Black Sheep. Black Sheep. We got Chris Farley playing a brother to a politician, and he goes around campaigning for his electoral in Seattle, Washington. I gotta go to Old School.
Blue, you're my boy.
Because Blue, as Derek said, he's our boy. In our 3 and 14 matchup, we got Knocked Up versus Run Fat Boy Run. Simon Pegg versus Seth
Rogen.
Seth Rogen. Thank you.
And crew.
That's what makes it. Growing that beard, he's a terrorist. Anyways, Run Fat Boy Run can't run itself into the next round here. We give it to Knocked Up.
Knocked Up is knocked up to the next round. Round of 32.
Dirty Work versus Paul Blart is our 2 and 15 matchup. Dirty Work. Sure, they don't know anything about construction. Sure, they show gay porno at a movie theater. Sure, they destroy an entire apartment complex because they think it's a whorehouse. Paul Blart, nothing on this. Not a very funny movie. Mall cop saving the crew. It's usual. We gotta cross out Paul Blart here. Move on with the Dirty Work. We're gonna stay in the same region. We're gonna go all the way through each one. Road Trip versus Step Brothers. Road Trip. You got everything in that movie. You got You got pot. You got a road trip. You got the semen depository where they try to donate sperm. You got Sean William Scott.
You got high class nudity.
High class nudity, yes. Step Brothers, you don't have any of that nudity. You want to see Will Ferrell's mom, but you just can't. They don't show her. I don't like it.
But you do see Will Ferrell.
Yes, you do, and you do see his ball sack teabagging a drum set.
T-boning.
But I give this one a road trip. I don't know about you, but
it's a close call. Might have to have a guest speaker come in on this one.
You're going Step Brothers then?
We're going guest speaker.
We're going guest speaker here.
I'm going Step Brothers. Right. We got it.
Here's what we got to go with here. Road trip. It's got a Ford Taurus in it. You don't like Ford Tauruses at all, ever. All right, this one, Step Brothers, it's got a Camry in it. Fuel efficient, blue, electric blue. Come on. Not only are the cars, but the quotable lines. Please, Step Brothers moves on.
Are you sure? Because the Taurus commits suicide after they make the jump.
The whip makes the final judgment.
All right, road trip out after an early round.
Cool your tongue, boy.
Number 1 seed of the tournament makes an early exit in the second round.
Now we go to Grandma's Boy versus Role Models. Very similar. They both like to smoke pot, but not as much as Grandma's Boy.
We're going Grandma's Boy.
We're going Grandma's Boy hands down because, dude,
we don't see much of a competition in this.
That tiger's pretty fierce. Something About Mary takes on Old School. Hands down, Old School, I'd say.
Hands down, Old School. Blue, my boy. Boy's moving on.
Knocked Up versus Dirty Work. 2-3 seed. It's probably one of the tough ones I have to go with. I'm going Dirty Work just because.
I'm going Knocked Up.
Just because it's Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang.
Have a third person of reason.
I love me some Katherine Heigl. Knocked Up.
Touche. You do get to see her boobs.
Indeed, sir.
Now it's Step Brothers versus Grandma's Boy. Both very similar. Both live at home. I have to give the edge to Grandma's Boy because the guy likes to smoke pot and he tests video games. One of my favorite
the edge
chores.
to Grandma's Boy too on this one.
Old School versus Knocked Up. Katherine Heigl versus who was the chick in Old School? I can't even remember.
Ellen Pompey.
Helen Pompey?
Ellen Pompey.
Ellen Pompey? Oh, it's got Alicia Cuthbert too, playing a sexy high school student that sleeps with Luke Wilson in the beginning.
This is a tough 3-7, but I think the 7's going to be dancing on with me. I got Old School going on.
I got Old School, just sticking with my boy Blue. Going on to the final 4 between Grandma's Boy and Old School. I gotta go Grandma's Boy on this one. There's so many memorable quotes, and the fact that Roadhouse and Antique Roadshow is in town, and he gets his grandma out so he can do some pot, have a huge ass party. I go Grandma's Boy on this one.
Just for a hell of a debate, I'm gonna go Old School, and we're gonna have to bring in a third person in on this one. Old School
I'm always
or
up for
Grandma's
debates.
Boy. Old School or Grandma's Boy into the final 4.
We got a tough matchup here. Grandma's Boy. A lot of low, no name stuff. A lot of Happy Gilmore Productions people. It's that whole crew. All right, we got Old School. A lot of heavyweights in the making in this movie. I'm gonna have to go Old School.
Old School it is. Old School, the dark horse, the number 7
History
seed.
in the making.
Going out of the Ithaca region, taking out Grandma's Boy, which took out Step Brothers, which took out Road Trip. There you got it. Your first number 1 seed in the final 4.
First seed in the final 4, and number 7.
We're going down to the Vancouver region where it features saving